Beyond the Mic with Sean Dillon.
We're joined on the Starline by actor, singer, artist, designer, former football wide receiver who knows how to improv and puppet. He's part of the national tour of the Book of Mormon, playing the General. We welcome Dewight Braxton Jr.
Thanks for having me.
Dwight, let's go beyond the mic. Without giving away the plot, what makes your role so much fun?
Everyone loves a good villain, you know? Everyone like who like acts and stuff and like understand like what it's like to play a villain, because I can just kind of do what, like, you know, I'm not like a villain in normal life, so it's fun like to put on this character and know that I can take it off, and like a good villain also helps move the plot along.
How does a star wide receiver, an engineering student, discover and find a path to Broadway?
Like a lot of people, like maybe like Whitney Houston and other people, like I grew up very religious. I grew up like in the Baptist church, and just from like a young age, I've always like kind of loved singing and performing. I never really had the chance to in high school because I played football, and then even in college I played football and did manufacturing engineering. So I took an elective class for theater, and they said if you audition for the musical, you can just get extra credit, and who doesn't love extra credit? So with that, I auditioned, and then she's like, oh, well, you could just be in the show. And I talked to like my coaches, they let me be in it. And then slowly but surely, the first team that left was football, because like I got injured. And then like also like I just never really had aspirations to play football. Even at the collegiate level, I just got a scholarship. So I dropped that. After I got my associate's degree in manufacturing, I switched full-time to theater because I'm like, oh, I love this, and I'm the one that's going in debt for it, so I'm going to do what I want. And so far, it seems to be paying off.
You once said, quote, even when no one believes in you, bet on yourself, unquote. How has achieving your dream of acting and in a Broadway show, national tour, changed the way you dream?
It changed the way I dream because it shows that, like, you know, when you shoot for the stars, you at least like, I don't know the exact quote of it, but like if you shoot for the stars, like you might land on the moon. I feel like it's really encouraging that I really bet on myself, because a lot of people told me like, oh, don't go for engineering to go to like a very unstable field like acting. But I did it, and like, you know, I'm continuing to do it, and I'm thriving. And it shows me that like I can do that now. The fact that I'm here like on a Broadway tour, next step is Broadway. And like maybe other shows. Like I want to be in shows like Hamilton. I want to be in Little Shop of Horrors or Ain't Too Proud. So it just shows me that like I am like achieving that goal, and it's not as far as it was when I switched like about 4 years ago.
Is your next dream Hamilton?
My next dream is Hamilton. That is my show. That's the show that kind of showed me that I have a place in theater. Like, yes, like, you know, I grew up listening to all these shows, but like Hamilton and Dreamgirls showed me like, oh, there's plays, there's like musicals where, like, you know, like that can show the Black experience, or like have like title characters who are like black and brown people. So it's always been a dream of mine ever since it came out to be in that show.
How did your parents and family encourage you on this dream?
I'm a first-gen college student, so their whole thing is, because I went for engineering, I've always been like more like the artistic side. I always wanted to do something like in the arts. I used to be like really good at drawing, so that's kind of what drove me towards engineering, because like that's something that like they approved of, but then also like it still was creative somewhat. And yeah, so it started that way. And when I said earlier, like, oh, I'm the one in debt, so I am going to do what I want, I kind of just, they never said, like, don't do this, but they encouraged me to stick with engineering. So once I got my degree, it helped me push forward. But to be honest, I would have did what I wanted to do anyway. But since then, they have been very encouraging, and like they never really attended musicals and stuff. Now they're very interested in it. They're very supportive. They come to all my shows when they can, asking questions, like they're learning like the lingo, all these things. So they're very supportive.
Dwight Braxton Jr. plays the General in the national tour of the Book of Mormon, and he joins us for the Rocking 8. All this is, Dwight, is 8 random questions. Answer with the first thing that comes to your mind. There's no pressure.
Okay.
How many times have you watched Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
5.
How about Hamilton?
At least 12, not including listening to the soundtrack.
How about live?
Live, I watched it live 4 times.
If you could karaoke with Cuba Gooding Jr. again, what song would you duet with him?
How did you know that? I would do Superstition again. It was fun.
You're the big brother to younger sisters. What's the most important thing you will teach them?
The world doesn't owe you anything, so you have to go out and take and do what you want without letting the world take your kindness and your softness. Because a lot of people feel like they need to be hard and all these things to just survive in the world. No, you can kill a lot of things with kindness, but be true to yourself.
Dwight, what was your first guitar, and do you still have it?
I do have my first guitar. Her name was Bonnie because I got her for a steal because she's very cheap, and she's in my New York apartment. And my capo is named Clyde, so Bonnie and Clyde.
Do you prefer the ocean, a river, or the lake?
Ocean. I gotta say lake. I'm from Michigan, we got our lakes out there.
Everyone gives Detroit hell, but I want to know what's the most underrated place in Detroit?
It's kind of hard now because it's becoming gentrified. But I will say the potato place that's like right across the street from Wayne State, my college. The best loaded potatoes and like so many different types of things, toppings you can put on it. Ooh, also a pizza place called Pie Side. They have like a lot of interesting flavors and like interesting names for their pizzas. We have my favorite one, to be quick, is it's called RU Alfredo the Dark. It's the Alfredo chicken pizza, and it's hilarious and delicious.
When you have to have me time, what do you do?
Being on the road is tough. So we're around the same people 24/7. And, we love each other, but of course you need your space from people. So what I do, everyone knows I have my gym time. My gym time is like about 2 hours, 3 to 4 times a week. I do that. And then when that doesn't work, I also just go explore whatever cities I'm in and I take pictures with my camera.
So if your sisters make you open up a lemonade stand, what will you name it?
I don't know. That's some very interesting question.
The power of the Rocky Nade. It allows you to open up.
The Brax Stop and Shop, like Braxton Stop and Shop.
Dwight Braxton Jr. plays the general in the national tour of the Book of Mormon, and he joins us for the back half Beyond the Mic. Talk about the cast and crew and how they make you feel on a daily basis.
The cast and crew, the musicians, the management team, upper and lower, they're all amazing. It helps us be on the road. Like we've done over 500 shows because I've been here since like we relaunched after COVID. So it's been a big opportunity and like a lot of growth has happened for me, myself as a performer. Because, you think the big fish in the pond, but then you realize once you get into a bigger market and stuff, you're like, oh, I have a lot of growing to do. And, like we've had a lot of chances to like grow, especially with like our director, Jen, and like our choreographer, Casey Nicola, and with Justin Mendoza, our music director. It's been amazing growing as an actor. And then now I feel like I'm kind of like a veteran on this because like this is my second year. And a couple of weeks, like we're going to be done with second year. We're going to go into like our third year and we have people coming in and out because, like it's a revolving door. Some people leave and come back and all these things. And like now I feel like I have the opportunity to like teach people who are like coming up about like, how to survive on the road, how to like keep some sense of like yourself while you are part of this big collective.
How has this first national tour motivate you for the second and the third?
Oh, I love playing the general. Like, besides like being on the tour, like the next step for the Book of Mormon for me, it's nowhere to go but up. It would be Broadway. And I love to play the general or anyone on Broadway. But this shows me that like I have what it takes to come and do a national tour. And it shows me I have the longevity to do this for like 8 shows a week for like 2 years. And shows me that like I can do anything I put my mind to and like put the work ethic towards, I can do it. But if it was like a show besides this, I would love to be Hercules Mulligan or Lafayette Jefferson or George Washington on Hamilton. I also would love to be Audrey 2 on Little Shop of Horrors. I'm trying to think of what else. I would love to play Sweeney Todd in any of these things. I need to represent for the lower voices out there, being a bass baritone myself.
So what's your range?
My range, I would say bass bari. I used to say I'm a baritone, but no, I think I am a bass who has like an upper range. I can go from about C2, really lower, but like C2 to like G4 to maybe a A4 are like my money notes. So I can go from like stuff like in Hades, like I could do like the "Hey Little Songbird," like in the Hades soundtrack. I can go all the way up to. And being a base Barry, I find it difficult sometimes. I feel like we don't get represented because everything that's coming out nowadays just keeps getting higher and higher. And it's still like leading roles like for people with voices like mine.
What's the one thing you have to have from home when you're on tour?
It would be everything that I keep in my makeup hamper. So we have a box that travels with us and we can put whatever we want in there. Some people put hair products and stuff. I got like, a couple hair products and things for the show, but I have a picture frame and like two picture frames of like a collage I made of like very important people to me, like my parents, my friends, my sisters, some of my teachers. I have that. I have some crystals that people gave me. I'm not really a big crystal person, but like just one of my best friends gave it to me, so I keep that. I have a little Detroit lion that sits in there too. So all these things like help me when I go to all these different places. These are the things like kind of help ground me and like make it my home. Because I'm gonna be at these at these venues for like a week or like 3 months or 3 weeks or like to a month sometimes. So I'm gonna make my little station homey.
How does it feel when the Lions got that close to the Super Bowl?
Oh man, it was crazy. I have another friend here. His name's Craig Frankie, who's like he is from New York, but like his favorite team is also the Lions. So we bond over that. We make bets on like stuff like that. But like, yeah, they haven't won a playoff game since before I was born. Like now they're good, and like being a longtime fan, it makes it good and happy. Makes me good and happy that like that they're like progressing. I'm like, okay, cool. They're getting there. I can finally even though I always wore my Detroit blues, proud. Now I can wear them a little bit prouder.
I'm a Browns fan. I can relate.
Yeah. Oh, so you know. See, at least we didn't go 0-16 ourselves. You guys joined us.
Dewight Braxton Jr. playing the general on the Book of Mormon, out on tour right now, joins us beyond the mic. You once hated your smile. What's changed since then?
Oh, you've really done your research. Wow. Because everyone has like their insecurities. It's more about just growing up. I just hate the way like I used to like squint and stuff. Then I realized that's just me being insecure. And like I get compliments on my smile all the time. And I learned to just be more confident and love the skin that I'm in. It's still a process, but it's going on.
How has your confidence changed since your first foray into acting?
My confidence and and how do I say it? It all changes like when you are prepared, like just like go more towards the acting side of it. Because acting and singing and dancing is such a emotional thing. So you can be very vulnerable and it can be kind of hard. But at least for me, it's like when opportunity meets, like when you're like actually prepared and put the work in, then you have no reason to be nervous. But then also if you are nervous, it's a good thing because that's an actual feeling and it means that you actually care. Like a big problem of mine I used to have, and I still have it to this day sometimes. I pace and like I even like when I'm doing a scene, I'll like kind of rock back and forth because I'm nervous. But you just learn things. Like I learned that like stillness is power. And even like being silent sometimes is so powerful because it draws people in. Just certain things like that you learn like the more you do things.
Dwight, did you ever think you were going to be able to travel the country, share your talents with the world as a kid growing up from Detroit?
No. I never thought that, especially like not on someone else's dime. So that's something I try to really think and be blessed about every time I, get a little discouraged or like have like a bad day or off day or feeling too tired. I'm like, I'm still really blessed because a lot of people would like pay so much money to like just to be in this position that I'm in.
What's the first place you visit every time you visit a new city?
It depends on how tired I am. If it's like a long bus day or a plane day, the first thing I visit is my bed. But besides that, I usually try to check out the hotel gym, and this is like all like while I'm checking in to hotel gym and like look about for gyms around. But the first thing I look for is like so it's like a botanical garden. But what's the other word? What's the other name when it's like trees? Something starts with an A.
Arboretum?
Yeah, so I look for one of those two because I love like walking around taking pictures. I really do. Like I love my camera. I'm like the picture guy. When we have big events, I have my camera, I got my lights, my external flash. Like I take like really good pictures of me and my cast. So I look for things like that. And then of course the food, but I usually wait until the first day we're at the venue because I asked some of the locals who help us with the show what are some of their favorite food places to go to. I will say Texas and California have been like some of my favorite places to visit, like in the States, because there's always something else. Like I loved when I went to San Antonio and like Austin, and in California, I love everything like kind of on the coast. Even though I'm typically not like a summer guy, I'm more like a spring or a fall guy. But you guys are hot.
You act, dance, can even help build a stage if a stagehand goes down. What motivates you now?
While I'm on this like production, what motivates me is like I want to write. I've been writing like songs and like trying to write a play and a musical for like people who don't get represented a lot. Like my musical I'm writing, like the leads, I want them to be basses and baritones and altos, because like I feel like tenors and sopranos get, rightfully so, like the love and like the praise they get, but like I want to do stuff like I want to just keep creating. I don't want to become stagnant, and I feel like this is a great place while like I'm on the road and like I'm like experiencing and visiting all these places. I get like a lot of different influences. So what motivates me now is just to keep perfecting my craft as an acting and singing and dancing, but still to create and be creative, whether it be writing songs, writing shows, or with my pictures.
Dwight, how do you keep your creative side fed?
I set time aside for it. And also if I'm busy and like I'm inspired by something, I write down stuff in my notes app on my phone and I come back to it.
Now, Dwight, building something takes a totally different skill set than singing and dancing.
Oh, yeah.
How do you focus that side of you when you want to utilize that version of your creativity?
I think it always is there, because everything for me, even with the singing and dancing, I think of it as like numbers, or like when I'm like singing, I think of like I envision like the piano and like kind of the steps, and like when you go up half a note, 2/4 notes and stuff like that. I'm very like meticulous and like very mathematical, like when I like am doing most things in my life. So like when I take my pictures, I got a whole process I do. Like I'm very like strategic with it. When I'm drawing, like I'm very like mechanical with it.
So what's the last thing you built for someone else, and what's on your I need to build that next list?
I haven't built something in a while. Well, I did. I made a table. Well, no, actually, a couple things. About a year or two ago, like our porch at my parents' house was going out, so I had to just take some scrap wood and like I built like a porch for them. I built a table for one of my friends in college to play beer pong on. But then besides that, the last thing I made, like while I was like really doing more of like the metal side of it, like I welded together stairs for our production of Mary Poppins my senior year of college. That never happened because of COVID, but it's there.
Dewight Braxton Jr. from the Book of Mormon National Tour joins us beyond the mic. Family is important to you.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your dad, Dewight Braxton Sr., and what he brings to your life.
Surprised, like in being like grown up like in Detroit, and like a lot of and being like a Black person, you experience a lot of people who don't have fathers in their lives. And I am very fortunate to have the father that I like, to have a father who's very active in my life, but to also just have a father like present. So he's funny. He gets on your nerves, but he's so loving. He's bent over backwards for anyone that he cares about. And like it's a lot of him in me, like a good mixture of him and my mother inside of me. And I hope I'm doing them proud. They tell me all the time how they're proud of me, and they call me all the time just to talk to me. It's like it's been months since I've seen them, but I'm going to see them soon. Actually,
what's the best thing your mom cooks?
Yeah, that's another great thing. Another great thing about my dad. My dad actually does most of the cooking.
Really?
My dad makes excellent macaroni and cheese. He cooks all the time. He makes macaroni and cheese, his meatballs, spaghetti. He makes like smothered pork chops. My mom can cook too, but like that's just my dad has always been the one who cooks. It's just what he loves to do.
So what's the best thing about your mom?
She understands me a little bit, because like my dad like jokes around a lot, but my mom, she's like more quiet and reserved. And sometimes like I'm like that too. But she's a very, very strong woman, and like I appreciate that about her a lot. She's very firm. She was more of like the strict parent, but you could tell it's all out of love, and like she really helped me like a lot of my characteristics today.
I always ask Broadway stars about the call when they got the role.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me about the day which changed your life forever.
It was amazing. I was actually like visiting home in Detroit, and like a lot of my friends, and like I just got an apartment with all of my friends in Brooklyn, New York, and it's amazing. I kind of planned my next year, and then I got that message from my agent, and I'm like, oh, it's kind of all down the drain. And I kind of was sad, but like it was like a bittersweet moment because like you go to school for this, you like take dance class, you take voice lessons, all these things to get these roles, and then when you finally get it, it's like, oh, dang, I'm going to be on the road. Like, I'm not going to be around my people. So it's like a really big adjustment period. Like, yes, I was still happy, and I'm so happy that I got this, so blessed. But like, I was kind of scared, I'm not going to lie. Like, happy, but scared. I'm like, oh, you worked, like what you prayed for, you finally got it. And now that you finally have it, you have to like actually go do it. I have to like be away from my family and my friends. I have to like start this whole process over. I got to like just do all these things. But it was amazing. Like after the first day, I'm like, oh, I got this. Because, then like the imposter syndrome comes in. Like, oh, like, do I really get this? Do I really deserve this? But like, of course you do. Because like you put the work in for it.
So who'd you call first and who did you tell?
I called my dad, but only because my mom does not answer the phone. You have to call that lady like 3 times. Her phone's always on silent or something from church or something, I promise. But I knew they were around each other because it's on a Sunday. I called and I told them both. But I guess you can technically say my dad because like I had to call him first.
It's time for One Big Question with Dewight Braxton Jr. from the Book of Mormon Beyond the Mic. You once told yourself, Dwight, quote, "Dear younger Dwight, I hope you are proud of the me you became. I'm glad you become kinder to yourself and doubting yourself less. I'm glad you stop being afraid to be yourself," unquote. What was the darkest day when doubt almost won? And how did facing that adversity help you be a better actor?
Wow. Research. Wow, I love this. Okay, I can see why your parents say you're good at this. You are. Trying to think now. I don't think it's like one specific, because we all have our up and downs, but I will say kind of it was like a couple months into like the first year of this where I really was sad. I was starting to like miss birthdays, miss holidays, and then like feeling alone on the road. All these things just kind of all compiled at once. And it really made me sad. It made me kind of like sad and depressed. And then feeling like, why am I so sad? I should be happy to be here, which I still was, but it's just like all these things that really happened when you, like, this is like the side of touring that people don't see a lot. It's a lot of like being by yourself and like, but still being with all these people. But what helped me, it's like, I'm like, oh, this is just like a chapter of my life. And yes, it's like 2 or 3 years might seem like a long time now, but like in the whole grand scheme of things, when I'm, knock on wood, hopefully like 85, sitting with my grandkids, like 3 years out of 85, that's not a long time at all. And it's just like, I'm like, this is what I need to do to further my career. And I love it. And then every night when we like are doing bows and we see people applauding for us and like dressed up in like their Mormon costumes and like writing us. And like, we have like the best fans ever. All those things really helped me. But then I realized I'm like, I'm not alone. I have people here who know exactly what I'm going through. So that's when you lean more on your cast and like your crew and like your friends here. So that's what really helped me. And since like overcoming that, like, it still comes in waves, but like now I'm like, oh, if I can get over this, I can get over anything.
So who on the road keeps you happy?
My best friends here, like Leah, Trinity, Dylan, like there's like a bunch of people who mean a lot to me. Like I play games with them. I like different relationships with all of them. Like one of them I just play games with. Other ones I go out and party with. So those are like just a few that I can just name off the top of my head.
Dwight, where can people find you online?
You can follow me like on Instagram. That's where I'm active the most. It's Dewight Braxton Jr. So it's DEWIGHT Braxton BRAXTON Jr. like JR. And I'm also on you can also go to my website, DewightBraxtonJr.com or Facebook. Also YouTube, like all my social media is just my name, because that's a good way of actors to market themselves, because I'm me, and it's like I'm the product that I'm selling.
He loves the potato place across the street from college, has to work out when he hits a new city, and wants you to watch the national tour of the Book of Mormon. Dewight Braxton Jr., thanks for taking the time to talk with us today.
Thanks for having me.
And that, my friends, is Beyond the Mic. If you're enjoying these conversations, please check out another Beyond the Mic episode to find more actors, artists, and people you need to know. We'd also appreciate a like and subscribe on the Good Pods app.